has polarized opinions of him. I think he's had some polarizing performances. But at the end of the day, he sits at your lone main tank. You talked about depth, and you're one of two teams that we've had on the show that actually have had no depth on main tank. Toronto Defiant are putting it all in on Beast. You guys are putting it all in on Sato here. So sell us on Sato a little bit. Does he have the breadth of main tanks to have that lack of depth there? And just like, I think overall, why is this organization so confident in Sato, especially based after, I think if you watch some of like the Plat chat comments on it, I think they roasted, was it as Ryan that they roasted pretty hard?
That's where almost all of his problems were on the Ryan. So I think there's something that I firmly believe, and I think it's mirrored by the other coaches and people in management, is that there are certain positions in Overwatch where you kind of need consistency and you need like a pillar. And I think that when you start to sub out main support, like we talked about before, and then main tank, I think that throws the team off so much that we wanted to keep stability in certain positions. Like I think you can sub DPS players almost in and out and you see less of a change in the structure. But you've talked about Orisa, like every single thing that we do comes from Sato's pulls and his timing. So you need to have someone who is consistent in that. He gets so much hate, and I think that I could go on about how the concept of Reddit is it's such a toxic environment, because it seems like when maybe it's a human being thing, but once that they realize that you can type whatever you want about Sato and people are going to upvote it, people just try to one up each other, and people love this concept of just shit on him, or maybe I can say something really horrible. And some of the stuff they say, it actually really, like, I feel really bad. Like they say some pretty mean stuff to a guy, and if you've ever known Sato,
should read some of our 1-star iTunes reviews.
He's the single nicest person you'll ever meet. Like no one has a problem with him as a person. What I can say is this: at the end of last season, every single player, every single coach had one-on-ones with Tucker or with management or whoever it was, and they were able to talk candidly about coaches liked, coaches didn't like, players liked, what was the problem, blah, 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 blah. And every single player, every single coach that came back into that room said they wanted to keep playing with Sato. There was not a single person that went into that room and said, I want a new main tank. A lot of teams came and talked to us this season about potentially signing Sato. The public reputation is one way. People on Reddit don't have opinions. They just know they want to get upvotes. It's such a horrible, toxic system. And they realize that if the second, I've seen topics which are not even close to about Fusion. People just find it, wait, derail it, and then but Fusion has Sato, just because they know it's going to get upvotes. And like, I think that if these people ever, it's so apparent to me that these people can't watch and understand Overwatch at any level. And they just realize that they can just type this shit and it's going to get upvotes, and hey, look at me, I'm so cool, I shit on Sato. And that's not for me to try and sit here and tell you that Sato played well last season, or he was like the greatest main tank player. But you need to understand that if you play Reinhardt in a team which is dysfunctional, doesn't have team play, your Reinhardt suffers always. And sometimes he's out of position, of course, a lot of the time. But I think that every single player, if you got them in this seat right now, would tell you that they have no problems playing with Sato whatsoever. And I think my estimation is this time in 2 months, you're going to start to see it. Like, I don't know why you guys were shitting on Sato. The
bounce back.
That never happens.
You guys remember season 1? They got second place when he came in. He's a really, really good player, you know. And then that people are going to start to like circle jerk the other way and like upvote each other. Like, yeah, these idiots shitting on Sato. That was never me. I always team Sato for life. So I think give it 2 months, and all these people are gonna change their mind.
Yeah.